Hi guys, welcome back to Hope's Virtuous Healing YouTube channel. I can't even believe I'm doing this right now, but it's amazing to be able to give you guys tools and guide you on your path to healing. I wish I had a me, but you will have a me now. So that's a blessing. So today I'm going to talk about the beginner's steps. What do you need to know to start your path to healing, your journey in this healing? So I wrote down some things today so that I can stay on topic and help you guys with your healing. So first steps to healing is you have to have a plan. What do you want your healing to look like? And also you have to be able to know that there is a problem. Because if you don't know that there's a problem and you don't know that you need healing, then you can't begin your process. So for me, my healing process started in 2013. And in 2013, I was getting ready to prepare myself to escape my ex-husband, and I realized that I had tried everything I could possibly try to make things work, and everything was falling apart. And I was just so depressed, and I didn't want to get out of bed. I didn't even want to be here anymore, to be honest with you, but I knew I had my daughter to fight for. At the time, she was about 7 years old, and 6 or 7 years old. And that was really my decision point to heal. So I planned my escape. I escaped him, and I gave my life to Christ. And that's where my healing process began. One of the things for me was to recognize that I needed to actually heal for my daughter's life to be a better life than mine. And in order for me to do that, I had to remove myself from the environment in which I was in that was toxic and poisoning us, that was making me sick, because I didn't know it at the time, but it was making me sicker and sicker, and I was eating and eating, and I got enormous. But I didn't know how sick I was until I got to Atlanta. And I realized, I need to heal. So I gave my life to Christ. And one of the scriptures that stick out to me, it's on my wall up there, is Joshua 1:9. I command you, be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or discouraged, for the Lord your God is wherever you go. And for me, that scripture holds dear to my heart, because when you're about to heal yourself, you must bear down and be strong and be courageous and be willing to face the enemy. And sometimes the enemy is just not outside, the enemy is within. So I had to do a lot of soul searching when I got to Atlanta to change my life. And on my journey of healing, I realized that not only did I need spiritual help, I needed to get a therapist, talking to somebody, to be able to bounce things off of them and to clear things up. I had already started the therapy session before I had left my ex-husband, and I didn't realize how traumatized I was already from my childhood. So therapy helped me work through those traumatizing issues. Therapy helped me gain a sense of it wasn't my fault, those things that I went to. And I was beating the hell out of myself, and I was putting myself in relationships with people who were no good for me because I didn't see value in myself, because as a child, other people didn't see value in me. And I needed to understand that none of those things, when I say none of those things was my fault, none of them. When you're a child, you cannot be responsible for what adults do to you. So, and I couldn't save myself, and there was no one to save me. So that was one of the things I did, was therapy, to work through those issues. I suggest you do the same. Therapy is probably one of the most powerful things that you can do for yourself. It's one of the most courageous things you could do for yourself, is to sit down with someone privately and speak to them about those things that you're going through and went through as a child, and even as an adult, because your trauma from a childhood will transform into your adulthood. Another thing, spiritual guidance, church, me giving my life to Christ saved my life. Me understanding that God loved me. God loved me. You know, no matter who don't love me, at the end of the day, God love me. God see me. God protect me. God hold me down when I ain't got nothing. You know, God loved me when I didn't love myself. So, finding God, finding a good church. Like, don't commit yourself to being in any church until you actually do research about that church. Actually go to that church. Sometimes it take 2 years. Sometimes it take 3 years to figure out whether or not a church is a good church or not, you know. You have to pay attention to the sermons. You have to pay attention to, is he saying the same thing every week? You know what I'm saying? But try to find spiritual guidance. You know, I was blessed to find a lovely church home in Georgia that blessed my soul, and still is a blessing to this day, because I can still be connected to them to this day. Even though when I came back to New York, I found a church home, but that church home turned out to be a disaster. But I did learn from that church home that I did find when I came back to New York. You know, I spiritually matured there, but it was a very toxic environment. And I say that I learned from there because there is good in the bad. So that's one thing. And I don't want to get off topic. But another thing is to really open up your Bible, you know. Get you a Bible. You don't have to get no expensive Bible. You know, I give out free Bibles, you know. So, if you want, you could comment down low. You know, I am on Instagram. You can follow me at Divine Light Daughter on IG. Hit my inbox. I'll give you a Bible. But the Bible scriptures, I stick to those Bible scriptures. I'm not gonna say like I'm perfecto in knowing the scriptures, but I do know that I find a safe space in the Bible scriptures to help me in my healing process. I talked about removing yourself from environment. You cannot grow in a toxic environment. You cannot heal in a toxic environment. A toxic environment is never going to help you be able to grow. I lived in my childhood in a toxic environment. I had to raise myself, and that environment was really bad, and I knew from a childhood that I did not want my child to go through that, you know. Screaming, yelling, arguing, abuse, you know, stuff like that. I didn't want to go through my child to go through that. And that's another reason why I had to heal, because I was repeating the cycle by being married to somebody who was abusive, and I didn't want that. Another thing is check yourself. You know, we could blame people all we want, but until we check ourselves and ask ourselves, what role am I playing as an adult, as an adult? What role am I playing in my life, in my pain, in my suffering, you know? No one, as an adult, no one can do to you what you don't want them to do to you. And even if you don't want it, as long as you stay and be connected to those people who hurt you, you are causing yourself pain and suffering. So check yourself. And sometimes you're not a victim. Sometimes you are causing pain, you know, to other people. So you got to check yourself there. I remember sitting in church one day in Atlanta, and the pastor said, sometimes you are the person that everyone needs to stay away from. And I felt that it like cut me in my heart, because I was like, am I a person that people need to stay away from? And sometimes I was. So you have to be honest with yourself. What are you doing to cause havoc too sometimes, you know, because none of us is perfect, you know. Another thing is prayer and meditation. Oh my goodness. Prayer. I have a constant prayer going in my mind all day long. I mean, I always have a prayer on my mind. I just talk to God all day. That has strengthened my relationship with God. And not talking to him out here, but talking to him within, because God dwells within each one of us. That's my belief. Meditation, sitting down and clearing your mind. Some people don't believe in mantras. You know, I have a couple different mantras. One of mine is, who am I? And another one is, I am. I hum those mantras until I clear my mind is completely clear. And I might meditate for 30, sometimes 2 hours. I'm meditating in the morning. But I get up very early. I get up 4 a.m. Being still. When you want to heal, you have to still yourself. That's why I said remove yourself from the environment. Quiet things down. Get everything quiet. You gotta be still. And the Bible says, be still and know that I am God. That's where I feel God the most, is when I'm still, when I'm quiet. And that helps me in my healing process. Another thing that you can do as well that helps is journaling. Writing down your traumas so you can work through them as a process. What else? For example, I was raped as a kid, and I was raped at 6 and 7 years old, repeatedly by a family member. And writing down, not only did I become a poet, that helped me so much. I can't even explain to you how much writing down that trauma and the details of that trauma, just so that I can get it out, you know, just so I can be able to bring it up, like, you know, spit that out. You must be able to spit those traumas out so that they don't stay dormant inside of you, you know. And if you keep those traumas in, you're gonna stay angry, you're gonna hate people, you're not gonna be nice. So writing those things out, getting them out of your system, and opening up and speaking them out loud, like being present with it, like, you know, these things happen to me, you know. Another thing I wrote down, you know, my hurt with my broken relationship with my mom, you know. This year, I really worked hard on writing it down. What was going to be my goals and my steps? I wrote down my boundaries with her, because to be honest with you, she is the vessel God used to bring me forth in this world. And my daughter loves her. I love her too. I just had a hard time getting over that I was raped and she still was connected to the person who raped me, my family member. and and not having a father, I had to get over those things. So I chose this year, maybe like a month and a half ago, because I'm still new to this, that I'm going to be totally honest. So I wrote down my goals. I'm going to be totally honest with her. I'm going to not sugarcoat anything. I'm going to set my boundaries for her, because I don't want to deprive my daughter of the opportunity of having a relationship with her. But there's a trust that's broken there. And I want to protect my child as much as possible. And I want her to live a life of being free to go see grandma, But I needed to write down what was my plan, What is my plan to heal this trauma that I'm facing with my mom? What is my plan? And so far, I communicated with her and have been communicating with her in this last month, and it's going good. But let me tell you, I have my boundaries. So if she steps out of line and something ain't right, I know how to come back and be like, okay, let's take a break here, because I understand that I want to be a good daughter, and I want to be a great daughter of God. I want to be a wonderful daughter to God, and I want to honor God and give him some glory in this. So I journal, what's my plan? What are my boundaries? And forgiveness. Oh my God, forgiveness. I want to be forgiven too, So I must forgive those who have hurt me. And I know I've hurt other people, so I must be able to forgive. So writing down forgiveness, I journal that, I'm going to forgive. And I'm going to continue to forgive, because sometimes you think about the trauma and sometimes you feel hurt still. So that's another thing. In order for me to picture what healing looked like and what I wanted to look like in healing is not beautiful. Sometimes you're going to scream. Sometimes you're going to cry, the ugly cry. But I wrote down the definition of change, and what the definition of love and kindness and courage and strength. And I wanted to define those differently within me, but attach them to the original change, love, and kindness. And I wanted to become those words. I did a lot of research. So I learned family pathology. What is that? And how to break generational curses and stop that pathology and that curse. You must learn what your family pathology is and your family curses are, because that's a part of healing. That's a part of discontinuing that cycle of abuse. I did so much research on that. I read so many books. I cannot tell you. I really dived into the pathologies and cycle breaking. And I love it, because my daughter has no remnants of being a Meadows, She's herself. She is a new breed. She's something new, She has none of those traumas. No one has raped her. She's still pure. She's loving. I can receive her love. I can give her love. She's peace. She's peace on our levels. She's a peacemaker. She's kind and she's sweet. And she has no remnants of that, because I did my work for her and for myself mostly. I did my work. And the abused Shantae didn't raise her, but the healing Shantae raised her. So her life is totally different. And in breaking that cycle, you must find your voice. You must find your voice. You must be able to speak up. You must be able to tell the truth and be able to speak truth to power. You know, so that means that the elders in your family need to hear what you went through. You know, some of them are not going to be receptive, but a part of healing is to tell the truth. You know, my family is not receptive of me telling the truth and be honest about any of the things that I went through, but my mother knows what I went through. You know, I even found out I was molested as a baby, you know, at 33 years old. I didn't even want to know that, but I'm glad I do know that, you know, and I had to heal that. What else? I talked about, and every day is not going to be a good day, you know? Every day in healing is not going to be a good day. Every day you're not going to want to be around people. And as you heal, your intuition and your trusting of yourself and your divine alignment, you know, once you pair healing, spirituality, your God self-awareness, like, you know he's dwelling within you, your intuitiveness changes, you know, you grow. You can spot things before it become a problem. You can spot it and you can separate yourself. Your energy changes, you know. But it's step by step, day by day. Some people move faster than others, and some it's a pace. But it's one foot in front of the others, and every day is not going to be a good, happy day. You know, I'm not always happy. You know, sometimes I'm just Shantae. That's it, you know. But when I do come across people, I am very pleasant, I'm very kind, I'm very loving, no matter what I feel, because I don't operate off of my feelings and emotions, you know. I operate off of what God says. You don't operate off of your feelings. You do your duty, you know. Not even your duty. You walk in your purpose, you know. And if I go by how I feel, I won't operate in my purpose every day, you know? So, I talked about speaking up, audiobooks, you know, and reading. I read a lot for healing, you know. I wanted to learn about love, so I read books about love and how to love, you know. I was not taught how to be a good mom, you know. I'm not saying my mom was a bad mom, but my mom, her raising was off survival, you know. I learned survival from her, like how to survive. But I also didn't want to be nothing like her, you know, because she stayed in a family that was abusive to not only herself, but her children. So, you know, but let's be clear. I love my mom, and she's old school. I'm new school, you know? So, you know, we go through things differently, you know, but we're working on that. You know, she's a work in progress, you know, and as long as she has a daughter who is a healer and who is healing and who speaks truth to light, you know, truth to power, and bring forth good light and good energy to her, it'll be a process, and we're working on it. What else? I talked about forgiveness. I just want to say my last thoughts would be, this is a beginner. You know, you're a beginner. You're just starting to heal. You know, you just take those steps. I will have more videos to come about healing and my journey to healing. And, you know, my weight loss journey is a part of my healing right now, and that's going really well, and I'm really proud of myself. But for you guys, you know, just be consistent. It's a day-by-day process, and don't give up. Don't give up on yourself, you know. Don't give up, and don't stay anywhere where you're not loved and appreciated and accepted well, you know. Let that go, because God never said be no fool. So don't be a fool, and forgive, but you ain't got to stay and deal with those people. And focus on the inner work, you know, your spirituality, getting closer to God. And I give you all my love, and remember to treat others as you want others to treat you. Remember to say please and thank you. And always, always take care of you. Because, baby, you the most important piece to your puzzle. And without you, how you going to help anybody? God bless you. Have a wonderful evening. And know that my thoughts and prayers are always with you. Peace and healing. Bye now.